County Sheriff's Department was criticized for quickly determining a Palmdale man had committed suicide when he was found hanging from a tree. The final autopsy report was issued today and came to the same conclusion. KCAL 9's Hermela Aragawi tells us why.
We're here today to discuss the unfortunate passing of Mr. Robert Fuller, age 24.
Investigators say the controversial death of Robert Fuller in Palmdale has officially been ruled a suicide based on evidence they found at the scene and Fuller's mental health history.
Detectives identified a purchase from a local Dollar Tree store made on May 14, 2020, in which a red rope, consistent with the one used in the hanging, was purchased with the EBT card registered to Mr. Fuller. Detectives purchased a similar rope from that same store and delivered it to the Los Angeles County Crime Lab for comparison to the rope found at the scene.
The case drew outrage after some in the community questioned what they saw as the sheriffs rushed to rule it a suicide. Fuller's body was found on June 10th, about 2 weeks after the Minneapolis death of George Floyd sparked nationwide protests, and after another black man was found hanging from a tree in Victorville. That case was ruled a suicide. Some family members have said that Fuller didn't have issues with mental health, but investigators say there's documented evidence that says otherwise.
Obtained from a hospital in Arizona was documented treatment in January of 2017 that Mr. Fuller was diagnosed for having auditory hallucinations, in which it was reported that Mr. Fuller stated that he wanted to put a gun to his head. In February of 2019, Mr. Fuller self-admitted to a California hospital. He was reportedly hearing voices telling himself to kill himself. In November of 2019, Mr. Fuller was treated at a hospital in Nevada for suicidal ideation and depression. He disclosed that he did have a plan to kill himself then.
Investigators also say there were no surveillance cameras that faced the park and no evidence of anyone else being in the area at the time. During the news conference today, Sheriff Alex Villanueva responded to questions about the credibility of his department.
The overwhelming majority of the public trusts the Sheriff's Department, and as you can see, we complete investigation and then we report on the results. We don't piecemeal it, and we don't cut any corners.
We reached out to a rep for the family, and she tells us the family doesn't have any comment at this time. In Palmdale, Hermela Aragawi, KCAL 9 News.